Yeah, I think that that's not going to be a huge issue in time.
Okay, good.
You know, any research if you think that's the best fit for you, if that's what you have there locally. But you know, our liturgy, you know, is partly English. So I'm for Orthodoxy. I went for many years to the traditional Latin Mass, so I got used to following along in my missal, right, with the Latin Mass. So it was just kind of like second nature to me. It didn't bother me at all. So you'll get used to that. You know, if you just get an English missal, and wouldn't worry about that too much. But you know, usually there are English Orthodox hospitals in some places. So anyway, sorry you had to see my chest. I don't want to tempt all you ladies with my chest. Let's see. What's on your mind? Well, you got so he's here. No, I think ultimately it may not be immediate in the argument, but eventually it leads in that direction. So I have a talk that I'm just going to rename this talk from tags. I can never find it as one I talk to. I'll mention something about it. But we can use that. So I have to learn tact to know that God exists. We know, Isaac Syrian, blood comes truth over the chasm. So tact is just an explication of what's actually true and how we actually know God. Because people get that confused. It's like, well, I have to learn tact.
Likes for me. Thank y'all for the likes.
There you go. I've renamed it. There's the
Oh, let me play it where y'all can hear.
I go through Phaser's book
Listening to
and
J. Dot.
make an argument there. Frankish Melkite, became a member. Welcome, Frankish Melkite. Count, Trad, Chad.
Also,
Jay, I'm finished. Defensive metaphysics.
typical axe work.
You mentioned in an old Hoaxbusters
Cross
episode that you
wedges for our Lord.
scientific claim society. I'm trying to remember what that's referring to. Defensive metaphysics. Oh, you're talking about my live stream playlist. I see what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about this right here. I was referring to Chatham House. That's what it is. I think it's part one. You're talking about defensive. Yeah, I've already forgot the title of this. So you're talking about stuff from like 7 years ago. In one of these, I go into Chatham House. It might be this one.
Where's everybody watching from?
Let's see.
Drop
Damascus.
the state or country or wherever you're watching from. I'm in the Appalachian Mountains of North Kakalaki, North Carolina.
One of these talks in this playlist. So appreciate your super chat, but I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I haven't listened to this in like 7 years, so I don't remember what's what. Where can I find those? It's the playlist literally on the front page. So I'm not trying to be rude, but I get asked this all the time. People, I guess people on YouTube, like they've forgotten that there's playlists. Because if you go to my channel, Turk Hollywood playlist, Rise of the Elite playlist, debates, and all these Muslim debates right here. See? And then the last playlist is traditional philosophy and metaphysics. So I think that's what you're talking about. CK, yeah, I mean, we covered it actually in the dispensational talks that we did, part 1 and part 2. I mean, I didn't focus on Left Behind, but I mean, we mentioned it and covered all of the relevant, nonsense of that. this was a big thing in the early 2000s.
Dang, 21 viewers. If anyone could drop a like, drop likes and subscribe for me, man.
Right here,
drop in the chat where you're watching from.
So, part one.
I'm in the mountains of North
Kakalaki.
Kakalaki.
Dismissal from covenant theology, and part two focuses on historical, Calvary Chapel, all that
Here's
stuff.
my kitty cat.
And then people ask, what about Calvary? When are you going to do your Calvary Chapel? We already did a long Calvary Chapel breakdown.
Oh, I know.
Here.
He's my baby kitty.
Where's it at?
Fat
In the member
girl.
section.
Her name's Goosey.
Let's see.
She don't like
Right here,
being
Calvary
picked
Chapel
up,
Cult,
she's a
6 hour
sweet
talk
girl.
right here for members. What's up, man? So we
You
covered
gonna
it
sit
there.
there?
Go ahead, John.
You gonna hang out with that?
So the LaHaye stuff is just like it's like they took the late great planet Earth and turned it into a fictional
Just me and my
series.
kitty.
Right.
And like I was never in, that's a little bit too late for me. So I never got into the Left Behind stuff, but I mean, just breezing over it, it's all, rapture theology type stuff.
Yeah. On Crowder, yeah. I was on with Gerald and release it, but it will probably be pretty soon because the days there was, I think, like the day after Myron, and they just put the Myron interview. Christian Killian, $5. How would you prove that the Bible is God's word? Well, I usually start with tag, and then I move on to things like messianic prophecies and so forth. I have a video called Messianic Prophecies and Inspiration or something like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I've thought about this over and over and over. Guys, what I'm going to do is all of these old videos that you can't find or that I don't know the weird titles I came up with, I'm just going to put J. Dyer on, and then you'll be able to search them, hopefully, if the search function works. Like J. Dyer on Inspiration, J. Dyer on Messianic Prophecies. Then it'll be put in the video. I'm going to go back and start putting that in as the title of all these old videos, and cross your fingers, maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll see. So remember, Esoteric Hollywood 3 is shipping. We have shipped about 80. The first 80 of the, I think, 350 of Esoteric Hollywood 3 and others. So we've gone through almost 80 of those. They will be at the conference. They are shipping now. I promise you exactly when, because as I said, we're working from the people who first put their orders in all the way up to the present. So my living room is full of
This is
Esoteric
the best
with 3 boxes.
cheap knife you can get.
At JasonAustin.com.
Cheap folding knife. As far as
you
it
don't
was
have to request it
under $20
off
Amazon.
From Jeff Bezos.
Super
I don't get
smooth.
anything from Jeff Bezos either. And you try to figure out what church to join.
Comes in a bunch of
Any
different
Orthodox
colors.
church that's canonical
Drop
is an
point,
Orthodox church,
blade,
but
my
there
favorite.
are problems at any and every church. There's never going to be like no problem churches. Every church will have its own unique problems, but just go and check out the ones near you, and then see which one is the best spiritual fit for you. But you will find certain problems in. Go Arch has a tendency towards sometimes ecumenism. OCA sometimes has tendencies towards ecumenism. Even some of the other ROCOR has its own problems. So there's no easy but don't go to Oriental Orthodoxy because that's not Orthodox. Boomer Slayer, I cannot wait to start my Esoteric Hollywood maxing. I think you guys are going to enjoy the approach that we took in this one. Most, I would say, 50 to 60% new material. So I enjoyed we got to most of the movies that I wanted to cover that I didn't get to. For example, I don't like Marvel movies, but we did, I felt it was a culturally significant enough topic to put, 50 or 60 pages. We got to do Christopher Nolan because I'd not done any Christopher Nolan films, and he's kind of, probably one of the biggest modern day directors. Christian Killian, I forgot the rest of your comment was, why would God kill thousands of people in Israel because David took a census? Well, because God judges on the basis of leaders, on the basis of covenant or federal heads, you could say. Even though that's a term used in Protestant theology, it's actually just out of the scriptures. Like, Adam is our covenant head. When Adam sinned, we all experienced the effects of his sin because he's our sort of our representative head. So likewise, when we're in Christ, he's our representative head, and that's how we then get the benefits of his righteous actions through, the Eucharist and whatnot, through the grace of the church. But so in the same, because David is in such a serious position, that could bring blessings or cursings upon the entire nation. And so God has always worked in that headship way to bless and to curse. And so it works both ways. So for example, overlap. Other than that, they're all just film essays. So no, you do not have to read part 1 and 2. You could read any of them independently. It's just different subject matter. So part 1 is based around directors. I don't even remember why I did that. That was like probably just the first thing that popped into my head to organize the essays. So, part 1 deals with Kubrick for about 100 pages, Spielberg, Hitchcock, I think even like Oliver Stone a little bit in there. So, and then part 2 is thematic. So it deals with Hollywood and mafia, organized crime, CIA, Pentagon, propaganda in films, MK Ultra in film, transhumanism in film. And then part 3 is organized thematically as well, and it's Marvel, Christopher Nolan, B-movies with a message.
What is it?
I already forgot what this. Dystopia and feminism, the Gnostic feminist goddess savior archetype. That's section 2. What's the next section? B-movies, and then Hollywood, alchemy, and horror trauma is the section 3 or 4, and then it ends with Hollywood apocalypse films. So all of the books stand on their own. Notable tulip, $5. Jay, I keep getting tempted to talk about politics at Thanksgiving. My family all watches Daily Wire. Help me. Whew. I don't know, man. I mean, just tell them, say, so what do you do this, do a trick. So what do you think of bitch tits? Think about what? No. So what do you think of bitch tits from Fight Club? And then show them Meatloaf with giant knockers. And when they say they have a problem with it, show them the Jordan. And then you got them. So trick your family with cunning rhetoric and strategy. Snaggle Beast, what's up? God bless you.
Maybe you buy him a pair of cement shoes for Christmas.
Maybe you buy him a pair of giant cement titties and he floats down to the bottom of the fishes with the fishes. Maybe you got giant cement knockers that take you to the bottom of the ocean with the fishes. Jay, I'm excited to meet you in FTA at the conference. I'm bringing my best friend. He was just received into church in Arizona. That's great. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Boomer Slayer, $20. Gabagool, hey! Gabagool, hey! Boom. I used to do, when we watched Sopranos, I had mastered my Tony, my Polly Walnuts, my Christopher. I think that's the 3 main impressions, but I've forgotten how Polly Walnuts sounds now. I know how Christopher sounds. How does Polly sound?
Like a gabagoo.
Oh, this is a good clip.
What's the problem? What the hell's the matter? Oh, please, go on. I feel your anger. Who the fuck are you talking to? Charles, you're with your son? The fuck? I don't got no kids. Oh, Sonny.
Oh, this is where they're talking to like a psychic, and then he calls it satanic black magic. That's a funny clip.
These are the top 5.
There's 3 hours of collected Polly Walnuts clips. Oh.
What the fuck you doing? Then I tied my shoes. So what? I can't stand touching fucking shoelaces. Ever go to tie your shoes and you notice the end of your laces are wet?
For what? Why would they be wet? I got no fucking idea. You go to public bathrooms, you stand at the urinal. Oh, fuck.
By the way, when I went to Italy, I did not meet cool Italian dudes like this. It wasn't like this at all. Basically, you go to Rome, and it's all like African migrants. So if you're going expecting that you're going to meet Tony Soprano and, you know, these cool dudes, no. That is not what Rome is like at all. Elijah, what's up, dude?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yo, I had a couple quick things. One of the things that I was really happy to see on Twitter, I think it was yesterday or the day before, is that you had that interaction with Mike Winger. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, I already forgot about this. By the way, we DM'd each other. I forgot that I'd actually asked him to debate a long time ago, and he said, I'm not a debater, not interested. And then after this interaction, I messaged him again, and I said, hey, you still feel like you don't want to debate? And would you be up for it? And he was just like, absolutely not. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Mike Winger's debates in the past. This was back when I was in.
Drop where you're
this was back
watching
when I used to be an
from
evangelical.
in the chat.
And he's right. He's not a debater. He's not good at it. He's freaking terrible.
Oh, really? I didn't
Drop
even know
where
he had
you're
ever
watching
done a debate.
from in the
Well,
chat.
maybe he knows that. Maybe he knows he's terrible too, because he was like, "No way, I don't debate."
Yeah. He's done like I think 2 or 3 debates. One of those debates being he debated
I
against
still
Matt
got
Dillahunty one time, or
3
Monkey.
people in here. I
And
gotta hit
and
this.
he did just
Damn, they're
terrible,
already
man.
gone
He
before
did
I
awful.
could even smoke the weed. to make
he
them
did not do very good at all. But anyways,
stay.
the point that I was bringing
Nobody
this up
wants
is
to
that
chill with me and listen to Jay
it kind
Die.
of sucks that Mike Winger is bad at debate, because Mike Winger is easily one of the most like prominent evangelical YouTubers, like probably in the Christian internet sphere.
Okay.
Like he's really prominent. He has a huge YouTube channel.
I mean, I've heard of him. I've never actually watched any of. Is he like a Calvinist, or like what is he Baptist? What part of a group is he?
He's Calvary Chapel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's Calvary Chapel, and like I told you, like he's very, very prominent on the internet sphere, and so a lot of people can probably agree with me when I say that
It's
a
funny,
lot of
3 people
Protestants,
came back
they really do
right when I hit
kind
it.
of they kind of rely on him and his YouTube channel quite a lot
Interesting.
for their theology and all
Where's
this
everybody
stuff.
watching
His YouTube
from?
channel is literally just called Mike Winger.
Okay.
So you can look that
Well,
up.
I should probably just do like some responses or reactions to his stuff then, because I didn't realize he was that prominent.
Yeah, he's very prominent. And so, and the reason why I even brought him up in the first place is because Mike
Just
Winger,
hanging
even
out
though,
here with my
yes,
cat.
I'm Orthodox now. You know, I'm away from
Yeah,
that stuff.
we'll do a
but
Q&A
Mike
sticker.
Winger was I feel
Oh,
like
no.
someone that
I
I
don't mean
also
like that. I
relied
mean
on
where
quite
y'all.
seriously back during my evangelical days. And
I guess y'all can
was
just
kind
ask me
of
in the
like
chat.
this might sound odd, but he was a little bit of like a step for me to kind of start going in the direction of orthodoxy.
Okay.
Because he like kind of brought me into like serious like Christianity.
Okay.
You know, when I used to be an atheist and all this stuff. But you know, now.
Well, what about Kip Winger though? Kip Winger. What about 80s hair metal Kip Winger?
I'm gonna ask about Kip Winger. I'm not totally sure who that is, but the name sounds funny. But there's 2 people that I've always wanted you in particular to interact with, and it's always been Mike Winger, and then another person who's actually a Muslim. There's this guy named Hamza's Den. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah, I have. We asked him a long time ago to debate, and he declined. And he was one of the early ones to like be like, "Oh no, you need to go debate Jake, the Muslim metaphysician." So she's only 17. I was trying to remember Winger songs because my metalhead best friend that passed away this year, he was always playing. He liked Winger. And who sings that song? John, you know, you're like the encyclopedia of this. Who sings "Heaven Isn't Too Far Away"? Oh, that's a Warrant song. Okay, I was getting Warrant and Winger mixed up.
had songs. They had 17, which everybody should know that one. But here's a funny story.
It's funny they bring up one. I dated the daughter of the lead singer of one. You know the song, She's My Cherry Pie, cool drink of water, such a sweet surprise. What up, what up? About time you're here, broski. We've been waiting for you. This is the first time that you weren't like the first person in the live.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about.
We're listening to Jay Dyer's live together today.
These two songs here.
But yeah, I dated
What's the other one?
the daughter of the
There's
She's
one that comes up
My
that says
Cherry
headed for a
Pie.
heartbreak.
She went to my middle school, and
And then
her
there-
mom
yeah,
was the girl
there's a
from
few
the
that pops up
video.
here. Yeah,
Jamie
Not my favorite
Jamie
thing,
Lane, I think.
but yeah.
I forget what her name was when she was in the video because
let's
it
see.
changed when she got
Anybody- so we
married
got
to
quite
the
a few people
singer.
online here,
But
15 people.
the singer's name,
Raise your hand if you
I think it's
disagree
Jamie
with
Lane.
that one, because,
But she
I feel
didn't
like
live
there's
with
gotta
her
be
dad
some
though.
evangelical
But yeah,
dispensational
100%. I
minded
actually
individuals
did.
in
I can
this
show you
group
her
of
Instagram.
15, listeners here. Anybody who is an evangelical
Her name's
dispensationalist,
Maddie.
if you disagree, you want to come to the
Maddie
line,
Lane.
raise your hand and I will bring you up.
She was a sweet girl.
Just, use the
We were
little
really young. It was before
raise the hand emoji or
anyone
something,
was
or the 100%
even having
emoji or whatever.
sex.
Come on now, out of 15 of y'all.
Hey,
how many of y'all
baby.
disagree?
Yeah.
Nobody.
I got my cat here today.
Do you disagree? I like your name there. We'll bring you up because I like your name. What's up, Patriarch?
Hey, what's up?
What's on your mind?
So, I just kind of wanted to share. I visited a new parish this weekend, and I was talking to this dude who's been in a choir for about a year, and brought up some like perennialist stuff. And
Like perennialism? Do you say perennialism?
Yeah, perennialism. The idea that there's like truths in every religion.
Yeah, I know what it is. I was just making sure that's what you said.
Yeah, and I've heard you have talks on it too, so I'd be happy to watch those.
Yeah, I debated an
My
article,
cat's
I debated
sitting
an
right
article
here.
years ago. You can still find that for another real
Because of the internet issues.
will be,
What a bummer.
kind of unjustified assumption.
Maybe it'll
First
get
of
put
all,
back in the algorithm since I got so many likes.
for skeletal truth behind all the world religions. Maybe there is, but what is the means by which we determine that? What's the epistemic standard and criteria by which we fed out the true versus the false? Criteria by which we fed out the true versus the false? Epistemic, skeletal, skeletal, outlines of the world religions or whatever. There isn't really any. It's just very sophisticated metaphysics that is the real secret.
She was actually like one of my first girls.
Oh, that's Sufism.
And
Oh, wait,
then,
no, that's
damn.
Oh no, wait, no, it's all over the place.
Damn
And
it,
it only
Goose.
works if you ignore the words, exactly like Silver Cookie said. So it's an arbitrary picking
Cat's
of the
name's
things that are
Goose.
quote in
She's a
common,
sweet. How much
skeletal outline
she
of the
can
religion.
mess shit up.
But when you actually get
That's right.
Win with sweepstakes. You can sweepstakes. You can win
Now
with
she's sitting on her little good girl. Now she's sitting on her little good girl. Hey, I
is talking to me, sort of call
Hello.
kind of drill into. So then he goes to Native American religions and starts a cult.
That's hilarious. So you're into ant farms, like making ant farms, and what he has some serious serious genetics queen. Like, why is it $100 for a queen ant? I can dig one up for you. In my doing it when I was a kid all the time, digging up the queen ants.
So what is it? Is butt sex magic part of aristocratic virtues, or is it part of the perennial tradition, or is it degenerate? So aside from even the issues of like the metaphysics.
Oh, Blue Ant. That.
This Arvel dude, by the way.
Do you already have a?
I'm not trying to be mean. And he got.
It'll be able. It starts having baby like babies out. Right? Is that right? Y'all see my little kitty?
It's all about Atlantis.
Watch, I love blessing giving my
mean,
kitty a blessing. And she loves it too.
So,
she loves kitty.
You want to follow this? He's just a weirdo. He's over here talking about Atlantis and white-only civilizations of Atlantis, and you know.
Good.
Go for it, man. If you want to be a
She is spiritual kitty.
have fun.
A Christian
Shane,
kitty.
what's up, man?
I'm waiting for my neighbor to get home because my lawnmower stopped running on me. It kind of like it'll start, but it'll go out real as soon as you start walking.
Yes, sir.
So must be like a fuel line or
Okay.
Years of unbroken biology.
Okay. Would you say that you believe in empirical science as your basis of how you go about learning and knowing that?
As long as it came under actual replication of science, instead of the current scientific form.
What's the current science that you disagree with?
All the current science, feminization, basically manipulation of lying, getting other people to agree with that, so they can hold control of power over the people that will agree with the lie.
I would agree with that. But what's the empirical proof for the 4 billion years?
Well, that's easy. We're all here, and we have an evolutionary record that shows that the planet's gone through many geological cycles.
I don't believe in anything like that. A lot of people are into the whole Bigfoot thing
Where in
around
empirical
here,
sense data is any of
but
that? That's an
personally,
interpretation, but where is that in the data?
anything experience anyone has like that, I think it's an encounter with a demon. And I'd say there's plenty of demonic
That's begging the question, because that's the
spirits up
where
here.
is the
So
empirical proof of that we have
there
this
was
evidence,
some
we've seen
wild
this, we haven't
things in the
observed
past where like everyone's cows got
any. 8?
killed. I'm pretty sure that was like a government operation or like.
Does that get you 4 billion years ago? What was happening in Period?
I wouldn't worry about it though. But there's definitely fucking bears. My brother sent me a picture of, or a video of 3 bears like fucking with a trash can in the middle of this downtown Asheville.
You agreed with the
3 big ass black bears.
Science and sense data is your limitation, and I'm asking you, where is the empirical proof or evidence for what happened 4 billion years ago with, quote, the start of life? Oh, so if I look at genetic research, it automatically just tells me 4 billion years ago this is what happened. No, but how does it tell me any of that? That's an interpretation, right? So where in the data that? So, circular argument, 4 billion years ago, I see what happened in my own environment by looking right now at the data, and that tells me what happened 4 billion years ago when life started.
If you could extrapolate and reverse engineer DNA, then yeah.
Oh, that's the thing in question, though, that this is actually the case, and so it's a big circle.
Anyone with faith is going to have to tell me either to believe or have faith.
Yeah, but you're asking that you have no evidence for.
There's plenty of evidence for it. You're just denying any of the evidence.
You haven't given anything other than this.
I'm saying your life and living it. The interaction with each other.
So that's your argument.
I gotta walk over here and
ago is my life and living it. This is why nobody
ask Chip to check this lawnmower out
know how to argue
with
a
me.
basic fundamental
Will
actually are addressing.
4 billion years worth of that for you?
No, I'm asking for any. No. Given any evidence of anything other than stating your position, which is the thing in question. What is the evidence for what happened 4 billion years ago?
Off the record, geology.
How you look at fossils that tell you what happened 4 billion years ago? It's an interpretation. So I'm asking you how you know that interpretation is correct. Because how does, again, you're begging the question because look at the bones like some sort of shamanic. You said 4 billion years ago with the quote start of life. How do you?
1,000 years ago.
I mean, if you can convince me of it, other than just stating the position, I'll agree with you. So how do we know that?
Well, how do you know that?
So two quote questions. Quote isn't here today. Good job. Nice try. Tomo, what's up? There is, by definition, it's not possible for anyone to empirically verify or see or know. And that's why I want to know what the basis is for this leap. Maybe there is an argument. Explain it to me. You just look at your life. Just look at your life.
You know the interesting part about, and this is always ever, remember Chris used to make these guys back in the day?
Yeah.
So I can empirically right now look at the evidence from 4 billion years ago, therefore it's empirical evidence. That's how they're framing it. They're framing it is the data that's available to me empirically right now proves 4 billion years ago.
Yeah, and that's the thing in question, and he just keeps restating it. Well, just look. You just look at the evidence. You just look at your life. I mean, that was the best argument I've ever heard from an atheist, actually. Just look at your life. Tomo, what's up? I'm mute. You what? Can't hear you, man. Speak up.
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. The mic in my car is pretty terrible.
So go ahead, guys. You ask a question. Go ahead.
I'm wondering, how come, even when you give Christian Zionists, your literal proof that Christian Zionism is completely unphysical, they'll essentially just give this non-rebuttal saying how our God shows the people because I blocked out.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to be rude, but I cannot understand or hear what you're saying. So try to call back in when you're on a better sort of scenario. Yaka, what's up? That guy was reminding me of the wizard in Willow. The bones, say 4 billion years. The bones. Remember that wizard in Willow, and he's rolling the bones. What is it? I can't remember the wizard's name.
You would say we must.
Say what? Yaka, whatever. Yaki, what's up? Do you want to talk or not? Can't hear you. Bestia, what's up? Oh.
What's that?
What's on your mind?
So when that Tony Soprano guy called, I just kind of had a thought about.
I don't know. Can't hear you, man. Try to call back if you want. Yaka, now you want to try again? Yaka. Yaka Nukan, what's up, man? Are you there? Luigi, on mute.
Hey, what's going on, Jake? Can you hear?
Uh-huh.
I was just wondering, whenever you were on the Daily Wire earlier, if you have any specific takes on Matt Walsh. That was really my only question.
Really keep up with him, but he just seems like, I guess he's the best of that crew. Blake, what's up?
the other day that the economy is in the toilet because fat people eat Doritos on EBT?
Yeah, and he says like the most normie, stupid takes. All I'm like, what's up, man? Blake, you want to talk? But I mean, he's probably the best out of that whole crop of goobers.
Hey, what's up?
What's on your mind?
I guess two questions. You always spoke about being carnivore in a lot of your previous.
Oh God, here we go.
I was just.
What's up, Nitrogen? What's up? Hash function. How come we talk about the law but less about following the order?
Hello, can you hear me?
So
hello, J-Dad. Like, I love you a lot. I have a question about relation, if possible. Theonomic system of knowledge, which is where we get our knowledge from God. So, first question, like, how to grant knowledge if...
You sound, are you, or...
No. I'm originally Armenian, but I'm Eastern Orthodox, so don't worry about it.
I want you, yeah. So I appreciate it, but we're not doing tag questions right now. Venus, what's up? Don't ask me carnivore diet questions. Don't ask me tag questions, please. You can't ask FDA tag questions. You should have said, yes, I am Romanian. I'm from Transylvania and the patriarch of the Transylvanian Orthodox Vampire Church. Stroiga, what's the Romanian? Venus, what's up? If they're based in Chad, then they should be doing more magic rituals. And as a KGB sorcerer myself, I can verify that, like James Lindsay says, many Orthodox priests look like Gandalf because they are wizards. That's exactly right. Wine Mom, Lori, you could fulfill that gap in our performance art today. You want to unmute Lori? Lori, unmute or I will use my powers. Lori, you've been waiting for like an hour and you don't want to unmute after a long ass wait. Suit yourself. Miguel. Welcome to Transylvania, the first Orthodox vampire church. The traditional Vlad rite. Mikhail, hello. Welcome to Vampire Hour.
Yes, I want to drink some Francia.
I will drink the Francia directly from the Karen's neck. I will pierce it with my two incisors.
I'm an example of a cradle Orthodox who grew up in communist Yugoslavia and Protestant America, and I just kind of took Orthodoxy for granted, but I really didn't understand it. And I prayed for truth and I prayed for discernment, and I'm not saying that you were the answer to those prayers, but it kind of coincided that over the last year to 6 months, in part due to your videos and debates and argumentation and philosophical reasonings, it really helped me put together, pretty much come back to my faith in a understanding way. And of course, time to go to church and all that. So, you can go some cradle.
Is it bad pixels for you? Mine not.
Quite a bit familiar with it.
Maybe.
My family, my extended family, because Protestant theology, but they kind of deny that it's Protestant. They just kind of say, well, these are not new teachings. This is just a clarification. Swedenborg wasn't a prophet. He was just a revelator.
aren't they anti-Trinitarian? I mean, that's kind of like a dead giveaway right there,
Yeah. So that's really the only thing I can kind of nail them on, because they say that man strayed from the original church.
Right.
So they strayed for. So I was curious what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some pretty dark stuff with them. I'm not talking about today's people per se, but like there's some weird PDF stuff historically. There is a giant 700-page dissertation that somebody wrote on the weird occult practices of the Swedenborgians. I cannot remember the name of it. I think I have it somewhere on my phone. It's a lesser known cult, but it's pretty obviously like a cult. So. I was looking at a bone. I finished my chicken the other day, and I stared at the bone, and the first thing that popped in my head was 4 billion years. Yep.
So, okay, I got a few questions. So you said to that last guy that you're not doing tag. Is that theology in general or just tag?
I don't know. What's your question?
Okay. Well, I'll start with, I wanted to ask about this book that I was looking at. I have a few questions. This is just my quickest one. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's In Pursuit of an Orthodox Christian Epistemology. Do you know that one?
Who's the author?
Okay. Jonathan Waida.
I don't know. You could ask Father Deacon.
Okay.
He's here. You could ask him all that.
Yeah,
Guys, you take all your philosophy questions to FDA. He's the professor.
okay.
Go ahead. He's here.
Yeah, he's here right now.
He is. He's in. Is the FDA in the room with us?
Yeah. In Pursuit of an Orthodox Christian Epistemology. You know that? You familiar?
What is it again?
In Pursuit. Sorry, is my mic bad? In Pursuit of an Orthodox Christian Epistemology.
I don't think who wrote it.
Jonathan Waida. Waita. Alright, no, I'm not gonna get it then. Okay. If that's fine. Predestination.
Yeah, that's cool.
Alright, okay, so, I wanted to know what the most common, the best response, I guess, to the doctrine of predestination and the arguments such as like Proverbs 16.
I would say if you look at, we've done several talks on critiquing Tulip, critiquing Calvinism. I've done probably 10 of those. You could go find those. Christology is the ultimate answer. Once you understand that Christology is the second person of Godhead stepping into time and space, you cannot have God being predetermined, right? It ends up being nonsensical. And in Orthodox Church, predestination is read first through the lens of Christology. Paul says to the church at Ephesus, you are the predestined. In other words, he's writing to a visible community of people. He's not writing the letter to the elect only. So check those out. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I just don't want the whole time to get bogged down in the same, I'm not being rude, but I mean, that's a thing we've been answering for probably 10 years in the podcast. And I'm just going to rename all these old podcasts to J. Dyer and FDA on predestination, J. Dyer on Calvinism, J. Dyer, then hopefully it'll be searchable. Daniel, what's up, man? I'm not being rude for 10 years. It's just read the book, St. Cyril of Alexandria, the Christological Controversy, and that will get your predestinarianism straight because Christology solves the issue. Go ahead. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, so earlier you guys were talking about technology, and another person, I forgot the name, was the Jewish guy, and your question.
Noah Harari.
Drop where you're watching from.
So I don't know if you
It's in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina.
Luigi posted on his Instagram. Doggy actually
Rolling a joint.
was lobbied by the Jewish people.
I know, I already shared that. We talked about that earlier, so appreciate that. Corey, what's up?
How you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
I've been fans. I talked to you for a long time
We're
now.
listening to Jay
If you type in
Dyer.
hold on just a second. If you type in Jay Dyer Calvinism, you will get this talk. This one with Kotel, 2.5 hours. I mean, there is a plethora of critiques of Calvinism if you just search it. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Jada. So I'm a theological non-cognitivist. The non-spatial has any positive
what?
difference, so it's
Of what?
incoherent.
I can't hear you. You don't believe what?
The concept of something non-spatial is incoherent.
Is
God
so you said concept.
defined as something non-spatial.
Okay, are concepts spatial?
Yes. Spatial activities.
Okay.
That's the first wrong answer. Next.
Correct. Is that way? How do you know that?
Sorry.
You said all. How do you know all?
Because the concept of a non-spatial.
All. How do you know all? How do you have access to all?
Show me where all is in any particular thing.
All. Where is that? What is that? Oh my God. Here we go. Brother, call back to the call center, brother. Go back to the poo-poo center. PP, what's up, poo-poo? Hash function, $2. What do you think about people who panic? It's a very kind of shallow, ignorant position. That's why we've done several talks recently with Jordan Bush, who wrote a book. Go ahead.
I have a quick question about Daniel 2. Is it a prophecy about the church?
Yes.
Like Pentecost?
Yes.
Okay.
Hence the church taking over the Roman Empire under which the Messiah was born.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you noticed that. Go ahead. John, go ahead.
The one thing I was going to say, going back to the Swedenborg question,
Sure.
anything Swedenborgian, the entire theology is informed by visions of, Christ and mystical, voyages that he takes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's all. He was a self-proclaimed mystic. So that's what it,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that should be an immediate disqualifier for sure. Appreciate that. I didn't actually know that. Bogdan, what's up? And then we'll go to Cody and Gabriel. Bogdan, what's up?
What's up? Whoever it is, drop where you're watching from.
Hello, Jedi.
Unless
We're calling from
if it's someone new.
Orthodox Church of the Vampire. What's up?
AJ, I got a question for you, eh? Hey, man,
What's the Orthodox position on Gabagool? Is it clean or unclean? Can I eat it on a fast, or are you gonna sleep with the fishes?
I'm a huge fan, man. Thanks for all your work.
Yes, sir.
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm hoping you can help me out because my dad, he kind of apostatized. He texts have, secret hidden truths about meditation and pyramids being made for meditations and all these things.
Sounds like you got a national treasure on your hands.
Bummer.
Explain to me, so
Don't
I'm trying to
leave.
figure out how to
Only
debate
losers
at the same time
leave.
stuff about Krishna, Jesus being Christian, all this crazy stuff.
I'm gonna steal the Rosetta Stone.
He doesn't think he's Hindu. He says he's still Orthodox because in Serbian, Pravoslav, and Russian too means right celebration. So he thinks he's still Orthodox, even though he believes all these meditation, ancient Sanskrit stuff. So I'm wondering, you can point me in the direction of does anyone have? Is there any Orthodox refutations against this Sanskrit text being some secret? Be stuff like that. What is that?
Well, the Orthodox reputation is it's retarded. So I mean.
What is it? What is the idea behind this
I don't know,
Sanskrit
man.
stuff?
I have no idea. People just kind of make up.
What's up, guys? Russ here. I'm super excited to tell you guys about the new movie, Sarah's Oil.
God gave me that land for a reason. It's a sign.
Debate you. I'm not a dispensationalist. I'm not a Protestant, although I was raised Protestant. but I wanted to make an argument for dispensationalism, not from my position, but like I thought of it.
Yeah, you want us to debunk one of their arguments? Okay, what is it?
Yeah. So this isn't one of their arguments, but it's like, what if it works? Okay, like it clearly has a massive power. You know, the evangelical church is.
What if it works? What does that mean?
What if it works as a system? Right? So maybe, you know, it doesn't have the logical coherence.
When it work as a system.
Yeah, that's my point, right? So it seems like it's having this, and it has an undue influence over the world, like, you know, correspondent with its irrationality. You were talking about this a lot.
Works to do what? When you say what if it works, okay, what does it work to do? Works to do what?
I get the impression that it sells this very effective product.
Okay, so anything that sells an effective product is true. I mean,
no, I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying that, you know, how can it attain such a power that it like manifests in the world right now?
I mean, it's got a lot of money and power behind it, just like any error can have a lot of money and power behind it.
Yeah, it's true, and a lot of things have gone to like that typical argument of.
Okay. So this is odd distinction. So just because something is the case and it has a lot of numbers and power behind it, it's successful, doesn't mean that it ought to be the case. But thank you for that question, Cody. What's up?
Hey, Jay.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. First time calling in. I've listened to you a few times, but I am a big fan from what I've heard. This might be more of a, is it Father Ananias? Is that his name?
It is.
It might be more of a question for him, but I just wanted to throw it out there. I've been an Orthodox Inquirer for about 6 months with my wife and my two daughters, and I'm just kind of curious about the, I guess my primary question is, what kind of expectations should I have for the priests at my church, at my parish? Because make a meeting or anything like that, it feels like it's very inconvenient, and I'm not sure how to deal with it, because I'm definitely the type of person that I am wanting to interact, you know, both feet in all the time, but it does feel like I'm saying anything against him. It's just what expectations should I have, and how should I handle things like that?
I mean, it just depends on how busy he is, but I mean, priests should always have boundaries and think that this is the best time to contact a priest. He knows when he'll get to me. He'll schedule. You know, you're orderly about it. Like, let's schedule something in. You can follow up and be too involved, and just like. So I know we purposely ignore a lot of times parishioners. I'll let people contact. Sometimes I'll wait 2-3 days. With a healthy boundary that I don't pick up the phone and answer you when you want. Go trust the.
Might be the weirdest thing I've heard.
It's okay to be orderly and follow up. But just, yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, that there's a kind of the core, you know, it's not the informal world of Protestantism where, you know, the preacher is your drinking buddy, you know, or your BFF. There's a hierarchical authority there.
And there's also a type of triage too.
Mm-hmm.
Of, if you know what triage is, you don't know, and we can't tell you about all the things going on, especially because there's confidentiality.
Mm.
Crises, deaths, stuff like that get number one priority.
Right.
And it goes down the line. So it's not the responsibility of the priest
it would be inappropriate for them to be transparent about, well, here's all my schedule, and this is why I haven't contacted you for a week. They're parishioners. So you just gotta trust the priest and be like, look, it's okay to be like, send in emails, leave a message, and be like, I'm following up on, let's schedule, give me a specific time, can you carve out this 15 minutes, let's have a talk or something like that.
Yeah.
And then be...
What's up? What's on your mind?
Hey, Jay, I just wanted to see if you've ever looked into this with connections in the Holy of Holies, and sorry. So the Holy of Holies, the interior is a cube shape. It's completely dark.
You're cutting out, man. I can't hear you. Dr. Pete, what's up? Lori, what's up?
Yeah, Jay, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I wanted to talk about your meanness, you know.
Here we go.
I went to Orthodox church. Well, it was about 3 weeks ago, you know, and I was kind of testing it out to see if it was really real. And I was thinking, well, I'll go, okay, Lord, you know how the Holy Spirit is. But anyway, I wanted to tell you that my experience even getting there, because I had to drive a little ways, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I don't know, I was getting kind of ornery, but I went into the church and I experienced it and I waited on the Lord and all that good stuff, you know. And I left there. But I gotta tell you, Jay, I got disciplined. And he was a lot more stricter to me than you are.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Stricter, but I mean, I want to say that I truly experienced Orthodox, and it was a way of discipline for my own self too.
What are you referring to? What do you mean discipline? What are you talking about?
Okay, well, discipline in the spirit, okay? Because I walk by the spirit, okay, and I walk by you because I have a disability where I have to. He has to tell me everything. I lose my memory, okay?
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and I encourage you to. Your phone's cutting out, so it's hard to hear what you're saying. No offense to you. It's just appreciate that. Dr. Pete, what's up? Marat, what's up? If somebody sent me $40 of Ethereum, appreciate that. I'm not sure who sent that or where that came from out of nowhere, but thank you for that. I will convert that to Bitcoin. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me, Jay?
Yes, sir. What's up?
So, Jay, I was looking to reading the Against the Donatists. This book too.
Okay.
Read it.
I've read it, yeah.
And it talks about 5 endowments, and it says one of them is about being in communion with the Peter's seat. So how does Orthodox explain that?
Yeah. Have you seen what else Augustine says about Rome, and that Rome can err if a universal council overrules them?
No, but
yeah.
I just...
Okay, but he says that in other places, so you can't take one statement and assume that that means necessarily that it's only the successor of Peter, because Augustine also, many of the church fathers also call all the bishops the successor of Peter. So all I have to do
Time's up.
Rome has spoken, that famous quote. That letter talks about that the universal church can also overrule the Church of Rome. So it only takes one quote to disprove papal infallibility. Or excuse me, one.
In it in this way that it was not defined doctrine at that time, but later. So then I apply it to the early church, maybe.
Okay, so and when Pastor Eternus and Leo the 13th say that it was always the case then that's another contradiction. Either it evolved or it was always the case. It can't be both.
Okay, but in this text that I told you about, it says that Rome you should be in communion with.
You understand that as the patriarchate of the West, it would be normative to tell people that you need to be in communion with the Western Patriarch. That does not mean Vatican I's dogma follow from that. You could have Athanasius saying you need to be in communion with the See of Alexandria if you want to achieve salvation and be, arrive at a safe harbor. Does that mean that Athanasius is teaching Alexandrian infallibility?
No.
So it only takes one defeater, and let's just make it really easy. Like, do you think that in the first 1,000 years of the church, there's any idea that the Roman bishop's temporal power is necessary for salvation?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if that's the case, then how is it necessary from the 11th to the 14th century for salvation? Suddenly.
Well, the scripture says Holy Spirit will guide you into the truth, so maybe it's related to that. You
basically contradict himself by saying that there's no dogmas like this, and there's dogmas like this, but now there's no dogmas like it after Vatican II. Do you think the Vatican still teaches that it's necessary to believe in the temporal supremacy to be saved?
Okay.
No, they don't. So post-Vatican II, they've accepted basically pluralism and the de-Christianization of the Christian state. So they believe in political pluralism, and they don't believe in the temporal supremacy anymore. So basically the Holy Spirit is just changing with, conveniently, whatever works for the Roman bishop at that time.
Okay.
But it's a great question, and I appreciate that. If you look up Augustine's letter, Luigi's posted a bunch on Twitter, but it's the letter where he talks about locuta est, whatever, Rome is spoken case is closed. If you actually read the letter, he says, unless Rome is overruled by an ecumenical council, which is not the Vatican I position. Stock, what's up? By the way, if it can develop to be Vatican I, why can't it develop away from it? This is the thing that I realized when I was a trad cat. I was like, well, if this develops, there's no necessity to this developing in a trad way. Stuck, what's up?
Kind of semantic question. I keep coming across the term
Looks fine to me. It's not the best quality in the world. It's not the best quality in the world, but who needs the best? I mean, who needs, what do y'all want to see the pores in my skin? What up? Big Ryan Walker. Big clouds off the J, too. It's cut. The key is I broke the tip of a nectar collector, a little dab pen one time, and this perfect little tip broke off, and I was like, I could use that as a joint filter. And ever since then, man, my joints rip, because it's like the perfect size hole to be big clouds. No, actually, I usually would use raw papers, but right now the papers I have are these ones my brother got me from this place that opened up, a weed store that opened up in Boone. Great Smoky Cannabis Company. I don't like them near as better as much as Raws, though. I need to get some Raws. Oh no, and Cherokee on the reservation. These are from the weed shop on the reservation, Cherokee. I'm part Cherokee, but I'm more Choctaw. I'm an official member of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. I got an email today that my custom boots that I ordered and had to send back to get some shit fixed on them. So I got a notification today that they're on the way back to me. That's dope, bro. I got some family that still live in Texas, but I want to visit the reservation, the Choctaw reservation one day. Choctaw. You know what tribe you are?
It's still true from all eternity that, you know, I mean, again, John 1 is a passage that teaches eternal generation.
Right. But I would, like, the Roman Catholics, I wouldn't say the Roman Catholics wouldn't accept that, but like Sam Shamoun would argue, like if a Muslim came to Sam Shamoun and be like, well, Jesus has a God, right? John 20:17 or Hebrews 1:8, right? He would say, oh, well, go to Jeremiah 32. That says that God is the God of all flesh. Which that's a terrible verse to go to because it says the word of the Lord in 26. But to show that, like your debate with Paul Williams, you answered that correctly. You said,
I got a little bit of Cherokee, but not enough to get in the tribe. I had enough Choctaw in me that my mom got us in the tribe.
I don't know how convincing.
I used to have an ID card that I could show to prove I was in it, but I lost it. I need to get a new one.
Again, like if you read John 1, it clearly teaches that the relationship between the Father and the Son is from all eternity. It's not only relating to the created order.
Right. But I guess they would also, and I'm sure you don't care, but I'm sure they would also argue, well, it doesn't say that he's his God. They would say, like, they don't care that.
It does. Well, hold on, but it does, though. Like, I'm not understanding what the problem is, because it says, of his fullness we have all received grace for grace. The law was given through Moses, but grace and truth through Christ. No one has seen the Father at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, has declared him. Verse 18 says no one has seen God. It's calling the Father the God of the Son. Right there. Verse 118.
Okay, so that's Jesus talking right there.
Well, it's John talking
about
Jesus' relationship to the Father from all eternity.
There's one.
I'm sorry, I had to click.
There's
okay,
half,
I got you.
quarter,
So God,
8.
that's actually Jesus. Made
So,
God, no, his God, known
if your
to the
grandpa,
world. Okay.
Yeah, so
your
the Son,
grandpa's
in
grandpa.
the actual Greek here is monogenes.
So that's 4.
So the word is exegetes. The Son exegetes.
You're an 8.
So great question. I'm sorry if I was being unclear.
You're either
Jimmy,
an 8
what's up, man?
or a 16. I'm pretty sure you're an 8.
Hey, Jay, I'm a bit
full,
of a normie, and I got a lot of normie friends. Do Protestants hold to divine? Is divine simplicity basically the notion
8,
of trying to understand
16,
Christianity through Greek
30
philosophy,
seconds.
or how could you explain that?
No. Divine simplicity is a position that all professing Christians hold in some sense. And where they differ is that the Orthodox Church believes that divine simplicity does not rule out
what's
real distinctions
lagging?
in God. First of all, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are distinct. We think that's taught throughout the Old and the New Testament. And that doesn't compromise the unity or the simplicity of God.
That checks out the near
to believe in the Roman Catholic position that
because
God
my mom's
is
a
absolutely
16th
simple,
and I'm a 32nd.
And we would say that that's an inconsistent
of
position
Choctaw, and
because
then I'm
most
also
Protestants
like
to be Trinitarian, but they also
probably a
profess that
32nd internet,
or theology
like
to Greek
where
philosophy.
you
That's a
can't
separate
see
issue.
or choppy.
One follow-up question.
I know it like delays the stream a little bit, but
Central
that doesn't affect how
to
the
push
quality is.
stuff into American Orthodox churches. Does that just allow them to appeal to a wider percentage of the population to influence us, or why do they care about influencing our church to believe those things?
Well, there's a great article that Rachel Wilson wrote on her Substack, and it kind of goes into the details of why, sexuality and what teachings of sexuality are promoted are very important to, obviously. The sexuality has been famously part of warfare. Psychological warfare can utilize sexuality, sex done in the sense of co-opting people's. And it can also be culture warfare in the case of, for example, Kenji Dohara, who was the Japanese spy master who basically set up a bunch of prostitution houses throughout China and was able to weaken China morally through opium and houses of ill repute. He was doing both things. Yes, I'm aware that the British did opium in China, but they weren't the only ones. The Japanese also did it, and Kenji Dohara is one of the famous examples of it. He was really good at sex ops and sexual warfare, which wasn't just compromising people, it was also weakening people on a massive scale through sexuality. This has been studied and understood by very important, powerful people.
It's tough out here in the mountains
just look at Alfred
with
Kinsey as an
internet
example,
and all.
where the establishment is studying and promoting, degeneracy and all that kind of stuff for large-scale psychological operations. So
reaches the
one reason is that you weaken a culture and you make people controllable.
There's a reason that I
when they are
keep y'all
slaves
in
to
this
their
corner.
base desires.
It's the closest corner to where the internet router is.
Then they are not going to be able to fight you. If everybody's a bunch of, touching butts and they're slaves to that, they're not going to be any kind of opposition. It also works to decrease population, and all of the elites are 100% on board with the Malthusian depopulation agenda. So there's a lot of different reasons. I'm trying to find Rachel's article.
No, that's good. Last thing. What do you think about Palantir? Are they really as bad as people say with this AI tech? And
it's potentially. I've talked about Palantir for a long time, and I have Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1. He talks about it being an NSA type operation. So it's definitely possible that it could be utilized in a very nefarious way. But
I think Sam Hyde did a good episode on it that you wrote for, probably.
Which one? Which one was that one?
I can't remember. It had to be at least 6
See if
weeks
I can
ago.
get away with turning it
from.
without.
One of those I was not able to write on. It might have been that one. I'm not sure because I don't remember discussing Palantir. But
maybe I'll just tilt the phone.
Peter Thiel's book's not that long. 0 to 1's a really short book, but there's some good gems in there that he does admit. Crowford Norma, what's up? I can't get Rachel's Substack to come up. What's up? Here it is. Kennedy. And that goes into a lot of details about the Skittles stuff. Crewford, you want to unmute?
Yeah, thank you. I'm a little nervous, so please just bear with me. I'm, I guess, new to the faith. I was raised in it, and I'm just coming back and, just trying to understand the differences between Protestantism and Orthodox. I'm finding, like, in some Protestants that I know, when we're having conversations, it's interesting. I'm working at the same time, so I'm just trying to get this call in while I can. But I've got people that I know that will essentially tell me, you're forgiven for anything, and they don't mean you're gonna forgive.
Get her to feel like this is her second home.
Then, you don't know me. And I know I'm mixing stuff up there too, so could you just explain to me, please, is there a difference in the Protestant view of forgiveness? It seems like there is a major difference between Orthodoxy and Protestantism.
I'll make sure
in that regard, but I'm not sure. And
That it doesn't matter what you do.
I do my best.
Bestia, what's up?
I love you, sweet dreams.
You have to forgive people, and if you don't, yeah. Bestia, what's up? All right, thank you guys. I'm kind of wearing down.
Russ here. I'm super excited to tell you guys about the new movie, Sarah's Oil.
God gave me that land for a reason.
It's a sign. I believe in signs.
I believe in signs.
And well, we got some more super chats here. Let me read those. Thank you guys on Twitter. I gotta go.
Yeah, start working on this.
Fun. Snagglebeast
Tasmania
says he's glad to meet us. Looking forward to it. Cool beans, dude. So we got Esoteric Hollywood Trilogy winner anime. I don't know. And Ghost in the Shell is awesome. Bobby C, do you know much about the coalition that Dr. Ravasi is involved in? Serbians and Trump is it worth supporting? I think she's good. I mean, we can have our criticism of Trump and still support, good-based people like her. I think McGregor's good. So yeah. S Duster $5. Ancestral Sin and Original Sin. I have a talk on that called Augustine and Original Sin, so I would say watch that. Lori for $10. I want to debate you about meanness. That was the lady that called in. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate that. Hope you did enjoy your church experience. A Panini, $5. Shout the bones. Hash function. We read those. JB Peltier, $5. That New York guy's banter and the banter after has been my favorite thing on the internet in months. That was a lot of fun today. The Gabagool banter. That guy needs to chill out and not take himself so seriously. We're trying to have fun. He was not having it. Worldwide, $5. I'm just tuning in. If Satan the demons can influence us, are they affecting our free will? Not unless we concede to it. I mean, you can keep conceding your free will to where you're no longer free. Ace Brosy, $5. Your interview with Dr. Olga was awesome. Have you talked about when you're going to continue it since she had to leave early? We haven't, but I'm sure we'll eventually do it. Swinthers, $2. Does the Orthodox Church allow the Book of Common Prayer? I mean, we have our own books, so we're not going to use Anglicans. He asks in questions and she. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss it. Algerbana, what's up? Haven't heard seen you quick. I like the one thing. Chase K, this was like 2 hours ago. Shout out to the Jordandians. Welcome. Jake Ron, $20. Can you point me to a I find it convincing, but I want Orthodoxy to be true. If you don't find papal contradictions convincing, bro, I mean, I don't know how I can help you. And I can't imagine there's anything in that guy's video that would be that convincing. I mean, I don't have time to sit and watch every Tradcast video, man. Bartholomew, $5. Jay, my Italian friends are gonna put you in the dirt if you keep talking about ecumenical prayers. Forget about it. Forget about it. You're gonna stay with the fishes. Yakanukani, $3. My headset doesn't work, sorry. I'm a catechumen. I'm trying to find a dictionary of the terms to remove my Protestant brain rot. Thinking things like Calvinism, dispensationalism, Arianism. I mean, there's a Westminster Dictionary of Theological Terms that's, even though it's Protestant, I mean, it would help you with a lot of those terms. I would recommend that. It's called the Westminster Dictionary of Theological Terms. It's not very long. It's a little, readable reference text. Bird, $5. Mamdani has the broom. Exactly. Robert, $5. Do you have arguments on the archaeological argument? I don't know what that is. Yahweh is a Canaanite god. I mean, it's not really an archaeological argument. It's just a pagan claim. It's a pagan assertion. But there's a good book that refutes it called, I'm not a huge fan of William Lane Craig, but his book, Creation Ex Nihilo, will refute that. Boomer Slayer, Gabagoo. Set. Do you pick a definitive side on the Ukraine-Russia situation? I mean, I stand on the side of being opposed to the Ukrainian schism, so I think Russia was in the right. Doesn't mean I worship Putin, but I mean, I don't like. I mean, the CIA goes in and splits the church and puts a bunch of gay stuff in, dude. Come on. Charles was early on a meme. He said, "Women, I hope you're ready to go extinct." Who's Charles? So he's referring to earlier when we were talking about the dystopia wanting to get rid of women and childbirth. That's absolutely right. Nikolaus, this might be too niche. Do you think the Greek defeat in the Turkish War will result in a 3,000-year Greek presence in Asia Minor pushed by the elite? Bro, I don't even understand. I have no idea. Sorry. Storm the Cat, $10. I've seen evidence that Jordan Peterson might be faking gay, including work under Soros. Well, I think he did have a period where he wrote some stuff for the UN years ago. So, I mean, I suppose there's always the possibility, but I don't think we have to worry about. I mean, we should hope for his recovery and salvation. So I hope the best for Jordan Peterson, and I like a lot of what he's talked about. I want him to find healing and be well. Harper, $20. Thank you for what you do, Jay, for your revealing to those that effectively say, we don't like the man that brought thousands of people to orthodoxy because he's mean. I think that is telling. I agree with you. Chris Echo, $5. How do we understand Old Covenant burnt offerings? I mean, there are types of the Eucharist and types of Christ on the cross. So what do you mean? If offerings are made to God for the sanctifying of bread and wine, the Eucharist, what is sanctified in the burnt offering? I don't even understand the question. It's a type, man. It's a type of what Christ does on the cross. And even David says God is not placated by the blood of goats and bulls. You can't pay God off with animal sacrifices. It's a type. Gobbledygook, $20, says, hold on, this music driving me crazy. I need some more chill music. Music needs to chill out. Gobbledygook says there's a guy on history or on YouTube called Predictive History. He talks about geopolitics. He has 880,000 subs. The guy has a video talking about Paul hijacking Christianity. Is that Asian dude that everybody's talking about? I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, there's a million heretics on YouTube. I mean, I don't know what else to say. JB Peltier, Scud incoming. Benantium Emperor, $3. I finally read Mystagogy by St. Photius that you recommended. I was wondering why he seemed angry at the Latins. Well, I mean, they're pushing a stupid view, and he, being a saint, probably foresaw how disastrous it would be to the West, and he was right. I then read the ecclesiastical Greek translation of John 15:26. Now I get it. He was baffled. He was so baffled that these retards couldn't read. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Guys, remember to head on over to chalk.com. Use promo code JY40 to get 40% off. H. Brazzi, get an interview with Conrad and Dimitri. I've been on their podcast probably 4 times, so we've done multiple interviews. Some of their audience has yet to be introduced to the work. I've had them on twice, and they've had me on 3 or 4 times. So, but yeah, we can definitely do a new interview. Wow, a lot of fun today. I hope people they get their feelings hurt, they get all mad.
Yeah, take my time
Jay
on this
Dyer
one.
blocks anyone that can refute his worldview. He relies on Platonism. That just shows that you have no idea what you're talking about. We don't rely on Platonism. We constantly refute Platonism, so it's wasting our time here. It's nonsense. I mean, if that guy, atheist perspective, did you want to? No, I've already shut out the. I've already turned off the. He doesn't even know what. He doesn't even know what he's up. Nominalism is coherent, you asshole. Okay, yeah, well, that's a good way to get on the stream, is just immediately call me asshole when I have no idea who you are. I'll have to work on an H. Brazzi impression. Yeah, I'll try to get one going. Guys, remember, head over to JasonAustin.com the shop, get your signed
the
copies
poll
of
on this one.
Hollywood 3.
You probably won't use it
It's
for
in the show
much ways
description.
banging.
Esoteric Hollywood 3.
You know that's the only reason I really need an axe, but
Right
I'll
there.
swing it for sure. It's gonna be badass.
Everybody have a good night, and I will see you soon.
Jay Dyer's out. Someone
We don't
else
have
is on.
identical minds, etc.
So what about for like identical twins? 2 different people.
Identical twins don't have the same mind either.
Oh, you said mind?
They don't have the same mind. They don't have the same actions, etc.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your should recognize that you need the lady officially have become the haters, and they're saying emails that I have. Of course, we are all #1 in the world. It's been trending on Twitter. It's been so exciting. Look at this. I will never forget. On advert summarizes it this way. I'm going to read on Scribe data from French president going media attacks. Fact check odds probably never thank Brigitte. It's made things even more global than they already were. Should recognize that you may bring, I think, the direction of travel. Tucker Carlson get us from an entire Anna wearing a ton of hats, Chris in editing, Mark mansplaining, and also being our director investigation. All while she's this is everything.
Even what the enemy meant for evil. By C.S. Lewis. Be in a position of
artist. She also shared her experience with the emotions of being a widow compared to the emotions that other widows may experience when grappling with sudden loss. And here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. It's called A Grief Absurd. It was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you... Because God is so good, and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets.
So when I saw this moment, I was just thinking about myself and a lot of emotions and grieving that I have experienced and all the emotions that I've shared with you guys and the anger that I have felt. And I want to be very clear that I am not that example that she is giving. I could have never, and I know that so many people agree with this, I could have never forgiven Tyler Robinson for whatever part he played in this. And obviously I'm saying whatever part he played in this because I don't believe that he was the lone person involved. I don't even think he's the person that killed Charlie Kirk. But even if you believe all of those things, I never could have turned around and forgiven him that quickly, right? And I have not even processed. I definitely, when I prayed about this, asked a ton of questions to God. And yeah, she is absolutely right in what she is saying. And she is delivering to us what the biblical teaching is on these matters. But I could not feel that way. And so I was questioning myself, listening to this, like, what is wrong with me? Like, well, actually, what is wrong with me? Why am I not able to get to forgiveness? Why am I not able to, or why am I rather questioning and asking why, and why doing this to somebody so young? I mean, even my dad, by the way, was so impacted. He met Charlie a couple of times, but he was so impacted by Charlie's assassination that it made him go, I want to be, I remember my dad said this, like, I want to be a better grandfather and a better father, because I look at myself and I'm older and I haven't lived a life anywhere near as admirable as Charlie has lived his life. This is, my dad literally said this to me on the phone. And it makes me feel like, why him? Why did this happen to Charlie Kirk? And I just, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going, wow, what is wrong with me that I have felt all of those things, that she has had the wisdom to just not go through that, you know what I mean? Or not, I guess I shouldn't say not go through that, but not fixate on that. I couldn't today, after everything that's happened, be like, I forgive Tyler Robbins. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I think maybe if I'm assessing myself and being hypercritical of myself right now, it's because I cannot forgive until I know what happened. I don't know what I'm forgiving, actually, until I know what happened. And this might move into what we're going to get into later, where she answers the question, we're going to get to it right now, actually, of whether or not she believes that they have caught the true killer of Charlie Kirk, right? Do you believe that? The person that we have in custody, is that the person that pulled the trigger? Is that the only person that pulled the trigger? Anyways, I want you to hear it directly from her and not me recapping what she said, or reiterating it rather. It's gone viral because of what she didn't say, to be honest with you. Take a listen.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected. I trust our team.
So it's not a straight yes or no, and the implication could be that she trusts the team to find more or to get answers, or if this is not it, to tell her what the true answers are. And I think that's why it's going viral, because they're going, okay, does she actually believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone? And obviously Jesse is not going to push her on that, because it would have probably felt more like an interrogation rather than just sitting down and speaking through some of these topics that are probably hard to talk about in general. But I am hopeful that what she's implying is that she trusts her team to do the due diligence. She says that she has seen the autopsy report. She has seen certain things. Obviously, none of us have seen the autopsy report. And I don't know. I didn't know what to make of that. Is she saying that there's more that's going to come out? Is that kind of a foreshadowing that more is going to come out and things are going to be clear? I hope so. I really do. Because in terms of what the public has seen so far, I would say nothing has been convincing. And I'm trying to imagine what they would have that the public hasn't seen that could be sort of a smoking gun. And in theory, it would be the footage. Right, Tyler Boyer said we had footage in 4K, all of the stuff when he was tweeting, and similarly, not the university, but somebody else was saying that, you know, at every angle, every area of the university is covered. Their excuse for not showing the public was they didn't want it to in any way impact the case. That has never made sense to me. That excuse never made sense to me. In fact, I would imagine that when there was a manhunt going on, before even thinking about the case, but rather thinking about keeping people safe, that would have been a good time to drop some clear footage of the individual. But it's possible. It's possible they have actual clear footage of Tyler Robinson jumping down onto the rooftop and firing the shot. That's all possible. And so we're just going to have to wait and see on that. Now, I'm going to say, personally, and maybe even selfishly, probably selfishly, again, I'm fallen. I'm very fallen, obviously. I was extremely excited that she responded to the Catholic innuendo once and for all in her own way. Obviously, it was not a direct question or anything. But two things happened here. One, you probably didn't catch, which is behind Jesse and Erica as they're walking backstage at the University of Mississippi event that they headlined. There was a priest. Look in the corner there. I know a priest scholar when I see one. Yep, that is the same priest that she took with her to the hospital when Charlie was shot. And I don't know. I am maintaining that I think this may have been about more than the architecture. And in case you are not there yet, in addition to that, the priest being caught behind the scenes there, they travel with Erica and she discusses Charlie's affinity for Saint Michael. Take a listen.
When we first started dating, I asked him, I was like, why don't you wear a cross? I was like, why? You say you're a Christian, but you don't wear a cross. He's like, I don't know. I'm not a jewelry guy. And I was like, I understand. So for his first birthday present, I got him this cross. And then throughout time, I would always add different medals to it. And so he loved St. Michael. And so, yeah, every time he put this on, he just felt like it was his armor.
Are we done here, guys? He felt like St. Michael was his armor. Okay. Now, I wanted to point that out because in retrospect, I get more and more just amazed and upset at how vicious and cruel and unnecessary people are. Just all of the videos people made when I wasn't even mentioning it as a big deal. I was doing a tribute video to Charlie and being like, we were all hoping that he was going to take the step and become Catholic, gave no details. And the next thing I knew, Operation Christian Zionist Influencer was, while I was in a state of trauma and grieving, coming after me and saying that it wasn't true. And I don't think any of them have made videos since clarifying that no, Candace seems to have been telling the truth, because who cares about the truth when you can just like dunk on Candace? But I thought that was a very natural way to kind of respond to it. And, you know, she's probably not going to give us any more because she doesn't have to give us any more. Like I said from the beginning, he didn't convert to Catholicism, but it's just kind of okay for us to tell the truth about where he was at on his spiritual journey. I don't know why that's a big deal at all. Outside of just hating Catholics, which is what I am receiving a lot of that as. And there's just been so many lies that have been told, and we're going to get into more of them later. And the frustration that I have with people who purport to care about Charlie, why they peddle ridiculous, tiny lies, doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, but keeping with Erica's interview, she was asked directly, and this is probably the most viral moment from the sit down, about how she personally feels about the conspiracy theories that are circulating regarding his murder, and here is her answer.
There's other theories swirling around about Charlie's assassination.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
When everything happened, my phone died. It became a black hole. I just didn't turn it on for weeks on end. I've intentionally insulated myself because I need to guard my heart, and I need to be there for my kids, and I need to be there for Turning Point. And what I've realized through all of this is that everyone grieves differently. Everyone is trying to figure out, and I don't blame them. How does this happen? How does somebody become so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head? We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation. Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying to process this. And I respect that. But where my heart is just asking for some grace is for the ones who were there that day. They have to relive that every single day. He didn't die in a car accident. He didn't die from cancer. He was assassinated. And the difference between this and previous assassinations in this country is there was no social media. There was no AI. I can tell you how many fake images are out there of all of this. And again, my only request is that just please pray and consider and think about whatever you put online, because it's going to impact his kids in the future. I want my kids to go on the internet one day when they're older and see things that it's just, we're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate that. But just some grace would be nice.
So I think it's a gracious answer, and I think it's a gracious request to, assert first and foremost that people are doing this because they care and they care about Charlie, and also this was a traumatic event that the entire world experienced, and also the reason why the internet is investigating is because the feds aren't. And not only are they not investigating, they're telling some pretty obvious lies, right? Number one being that he was shot by a .30-06 and stopped the bullet, when in a normal circumstance it would have decapitated him. Like a .30-06 will decapitate someone. And because they've been so ridiculous and then gaslighting us and being like, you're dishonoring Charlie's legacy, people are digging their feet in the ground because it's just disrupts us spiritually to watch something like that and then be told like nothing to see here. Now, here's what I will say about her request to consider the people that were there that day. The people that were there that day experienced a trauma because they watched Charlie Kirk die, or maybe they didn't see him die, maybe watched him get shot, heard the shot, who knows what the exact specs are. This is where it's going to be really hard for Erica to be a CEO and to be somebody who is a widow at the same time, right? Because the messaging that is coming out of Turning Point USA, so this is Erica in her CEO and her chairman capacity, has just been unacceptable, right? It can't be both. It can't be, okay, everybody, we're gonna keep going, and Mikey's gonna take over for Charlie at his Liberty event that he has, which is gonna be sold out. And Turning Point USA people who are directors of faith, they're gonna be telling you like, Mikey's got what it takes. Here's what blah blah blah, and then Mikey's gonna tell stories about that day, go on his show multiple times. Andrew's gonna talk about it. Everyone's gonna talk about it, and they don't want to talk about the stuff that we care about. Like, this is what it means to have a podcast, right? You can't want fame only on your command. This is kind of the Meghan Markle thing, right, that we talk about. And I'm quoting this to Mikey McCoy. It's like everybody wants to be famous until you're famous, okay? We want privacy now. Well, it doesn't actually work that way. You don't get to be like, I want to marry you and I want to be a princess, and then become a princess. And you're like, well, I don't want to be a princess, right? It's kind of, you got to pick one or the other. So if there were Turning Point individuals who were so traumatized that day and they needed to go away. I mean, I had to go away for 2 weeks to collect my thoughts about the trauma that I saw having watched it. A lot of people I know that had to take breaks. I had to take the show off the air for a couple of days, and they just, needed time to process. It'd be a little bit different. But actually, it almost came across like they needed zero time to process, and they were kind of annoyed that the world needed time to process. And then the things that they were telling us were lies. We were able to factually debunk things that we were being told. And then you've got people like Tyler, who's featured in this, Tyler Boyer, who you're the CEO. Tyler Boyer is a sexual deviant, right? Why do we have to give, because he was at the hospital, give him grace? It's like, no, this is this is now what's at the head of the company. Charlie's not there. We want to make sure that this company is going to be committed to truth. We want to make sure that this company is not going to be telling us that we can't care about this or not be focused on that, because we need to decide whether this is still the same company. That's what it means, right? Is this still the same company? And so I think with the McCoy thing, everyone wanted a stage until you got a stage, okay? And people started going lie, right? Case in point, Alex Clark wanted to do the Wall Street Journal thing until I caught this little lie. And it's like, what are you saying this thing about Catholics? That's not true, okay? Take the stage or don't take the stage, but it can't be in between. And then suddenly when the public turns against you, I don't want a stage anymore. That would be my response to that. And I do not have any sympathy for Rob McCoy. I have no sympathy for Mikey McCoy. I have no sympathy for Tyler Boyer. I think telling the truth is a very easy thing to do when you have a microphone. And if you don't want to tell the truth, it just makes you look more suspicious. And I can give you an example of that. There was some kid who was wearing green at this UVU event, right? They looked kind of shady. There was a ton of rumors. We got a bunch of emails, but I never covered it on the show because I didn't think there was anything beyond the fact that he looked kind of shady in a green hoodie. And I think it was yesterday, Sam Parker was like, who are these guys? And I can't get a clear image of this person. I then respond to him like, here's a clear image of this person. The actual person wearing the green hoodie then responds very quickly. He's like, that's me. Sorry, I dress weird. I think he's on the soccer team at UVU. And that's it. It's over. And nobody is talking about the green hoodie. Here he is, Colby Sessions. Hey guys, this is me. My teammate and I were just on campus to get food and stop by the event. We always wear silly stuff like that. Sorry guys. That's it. How easy, right? How easy. He's not like, I'm a victim. Call a lawyer. I can't believe somebody asked a question. I can't believe there's interest in this event where an assassination took place. No, people are asking because they're well-meaning, and he just comes right back and answers it, and it's over. That's how easy, that's how quick, that's how painless it is when you simply tell the truth. And I just don't feel that anything that's been easy to clarify has been done, and it can't be because they're in a state of mourning, because they were back on their feet the next day and giddy and sharing memories and talking about what happened on that day in detail. So, except for the parts that we want to know about. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. If you guys want to watch that interview in its entirety, you definitely should. It is available on Fox News Prime Time, Jesse Waters. And that's what we're going to say about that. Take a brief break, and we're going to get into some Christian Zionist influencers. I've been speaking to you guys a lot about Riverbend Ranch because I love their steaks. Black Angus beef that is famous for its great tubes. And after Black Angus beef, this is more business.
Believing and belonging set the stage for becoming.
Myself.
Everything at Charleston Southern University is designed.
Now, when you head over to riverbendranch.com, right back, cutting to help you get out of fired. They're here to help holds5.com. Ali Stuckey. I have actually worked with Ali Stuckey at various events. I've spoken with Ali Stuckey. She's been on my podcast multiple times. She's been a panelist back when I was on the Daily Wire. I'm referring to, she debated my husband before I was Catholic. They had a very good sit down, and she's always been very kind. She is behind the scenes. I will always tell you guys if there's tea. There actually isn't any on Ali Stuckey. She's always been a very lovely person, and especially because when I was first coming into the industry and people were dunking on me for all sorts of things, she actually hosted me on her show and had a conversation rather than just kind of joining the choir. So yeah, I am not addressing this because Ali is a bad human being. And I'm addressing this because she has been addressing me, actually, subtly, subtweeting these sorts of things. And I feel like it's fair that when people engage in that sort of behavior that I get to respond. Somehow, people are allowed to talk about me, and then when I respond, some people will suddenly be like, I stand with so-and-so. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just answering someone. For me, this topic, Charlie Kirk, who murdered him, there isn't a single topic in politics that is happening on this planet that I care more about, okay? It is the killing of Charlie Kirk and nothing else for me. And in the aftermath of his assassination, people were downright nasty to me. You saw that. It was definitively not organic. It was this weird need to assert his legacy as a Christian Zionist. By the way, I'm not including Allie in the downright nasty category whatsoever. But she was one of the voices who cast unnecessary shade, I would say, on my account of him becoming Catholic curious. And it was unnecessary, I would say, only because she could have texted me. She has my number. This is one of the things that Matt Walsh recently said, that he views it as such a form of disloyalty when you have access to an individual, but you will instead go onto your platform to say something about that individual when you could ask for clarity, right? She could have messaged me and say, hey, I've never heard anything about Charlie being interested in Catholicism. And I would have said to her, hey, privately, yeah, he was going to mass sometimes daily. He was going on Sundays. He died with the pendant, but that didn't happen. Anyways, she's asserted that she's a friend of Charlie Kirk. She certainly has worked with Charlie Kirk for years. All that is true. We are natural allies because we are committed to wanting there to be justice and genuinely are both upset by Charlie being no longer here, not seeing where Charlie was supposed to go in his life, having his life cut short in the most traumatic terms possible. But it feels to me that there are some people who only want to use their platforms to dispel something that I am saying that they think is untrue, even when I present proof that it is true. And an example of that is this morning. So yesterday, I said to you guys, as a person who worked at Turning Point USA, who toured with Charlie the most, okay? There's not a single person who can say, I headlined more Turning Point USA campus tours than Candace Owens. Just, okay, I know what I'm talking about, right? It's a very strange thing to not know what the inner workings are and to then accuse somebody who shows an email, as I did yesterday, that these events are booked the semester before, okay? There's a long waiting list. Everybody wants Charlie or Candace, whoever it is, Don Jr., to come to their campus, and they make those requests early. The Turning Point chapters, they have so many of them. And so they are constantly running behind on those requests, and it's a very long process because the administrations at these campuses naturally hate Turning Point USA in particular because Charlie started the organization to disrupt college campuses. So they give these kids a very hard time over everything. When I tell you a hard time, when Charlie and I were speaking at Stanford, the student who put the event together, her grandfather owned one of the buildings at Stanford. Like, her name was on one of the buildings at Stanford University, and they still gave her a hard time pulling this event together, right? It doesn't matter. It's more the sentiment of who you are as a political person and as a political organization, and they will try to stop you. And that is why it is strange, as in it has never happened while I toured for 8-9 semesters, 2019 summer, 8 semesters with Charlie, like in a row. It's never happened that a college makes a request over the summer when school is closed, because it was, okay, at the end of July, school was not in session, and then it gets honored by Turning Point USA immediately, and then it's on the calendar. Could you imagine the university getting that email? They already hate Charlie Kirk, and they're going to honor it and be like, not only do we want to honor this, we'll give you the first week back to school. Like, that's what they're telling us, and it doesn't make any sense, and I pointed that out, and I showed proof of that. What are you disagreeing with, actually? Like, when you jump into this, what is motivating your disagreement would be my question. I will read her tweets and then I will respond to them. So she does a total false debunking by sharing a private message exchange between her and Charlie. This is what she tweeted. She said the latest claim is that TPUSA must have been in on Charlie's murder. because the UVU campus stop was approved in July. It was not approved in July, it was requested in July. And that's too short of a timeline for an event in September. That is not true. Charlie texted me at the end of August for a campus event in early November. That's about 2 months out. And the reason he didn't specify which campus is because he didn't even know yet. He just knew it was going to be in Alabama. So yes, it does seem like part of this year's campus tour was being put together at the last minute, and UVU being booked over the summer isn't actually unusual. No, hey, would love to have you join us on campus November 3rd. What does this prove? That Charlie invited her to join him on campus on November 3rd. If he is giving you multiple locations, and I'm telling you this as someone who I worked for this organization, Allie, okay? It's probably because these are this is already approved. They're doing these campuses already. He's asking you which one to choose. Many times these students will be told to hold 2 dates that can possibly work. And they're going to get back to them and confirm and see who's available. They did not start planning that event when Charlie texted you. I can guarantee you that, okay? They did not receive a request from those campuses on that day. It's an absurdity. I don't even know what we're debating. She then follows it up and she says this.
All right, well.
Since some of you guys are struggling, because people pointed out,
I guess I'm out of here. Everybody else is out, so I guess I'm out. Maybe I'll be back. I don't know. Nomine Patris et Filii. That was bad. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. In nomine Yeshu. Amen.